Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Azra Bakovic-Kot, and I would like to present to you today my instructional program called How to Plan an Engaging EFL or ESL Lesson. I hope you will find it useful and will approve of it for your language school. But first, let me tell you a little bit about myself. After finishing university, I started working in EFL in 2007 when I did the Cambridge CELTA. Following that, I completed Cambridge Delta in 2009 and shortly after started working as a CELTA trainer. In my career, I have worked as a member of staff and a freelancer for multiple language schools in Bosnia, the USA, Switzerland, Turkey, Spain. I moved to management in 2009 and have worked on various positions as a senior teacher, as an assistant director of studies, and director of studies. So as you can see, I have quite an extensive understanding of issues language schools face and how to deal with them. Right, now, going back to the training, I would like to talk to you about why I believe this training is necessary for every language school out there. For example, as a director of studies or an owner of the school, have you ever walked down the corridors of your school during the class hours and wondered, why is it so quiet in the classrooms? Or why can I hear only the teachers speaking? This is normally because lessons tend to be teacher-centered and with a lot of teacher talking time, when in reality, it should be the opposite. A lot of student talking time and student-centeredness are the goals. Also, very often it would happen in schools that students, when they finish their tests and exams, don't perform nearly as well as you thought they would, or you know they have the potential for. Maybe this is because they are not motivated enough to study and learn their English. Also, what happens often is that students get a lot of homework to do because teachers don't have sufficient time to address all the exercises in the classrooms. Do the teachers in your school say that once they have explained the language point, there's simply not enough time for practice? Well, this can be because teachers are not distinguishing between important exercises and the ones that can be omitted or shortened. And finally, when their courses are finished and it comes the time to give feedback, what is the feedback that they give you? Of course, feedback can vary from total ecstasy to total dissatisfaction. But do you find that it mostly has to do with the teachers rather than the quality of classes? Again, this is because the classes tend to be too teacher-centered and there might not be a standard to which all the teachers teach. So, why are all of these issues happening in so many schools? Well, there's a variety of reasons, of course, but throughout my experience, I found that the key issue is ineffective planning of lessons. Now, why teachers plan ineffectively? It can be for various reasons. Teachers might plan ineffectively because they lack formal knowledge or skills. Or if they do have the formal training, they don't have the skills to do it quickly and efficiently. Sometimes the reason might be simple lack of motivation because the teacher might feel that it is not necessary for quality of classes. So to address these issues, this training will help teachers plan engaging lessons more efficiently and quickly. And with the improved planning, the aim is to improve on or completely eradicate the issues we talked about. Well, with this in mind, these are the objectives of the training. First of all, teachers will be able to set clear aims for their lessons and sequence the activities so that this aim is achieved. This will help use the time in class in the best possible way, so the amount of homework is reduced and students get to address important issues in class, which in turn should help with their final grades. Next, teachers will learn how to distinguish between controlled and free practice activities and be able to analyze them according to their usefulness when achieving the aim. Again, this will help focus the lesson and prevent spending time on practice that is not achieving the aim of the lesson, however great that activity might be. As a result, students are more focused, more engaged, and more learning happens. After that, we are going to learn how to assign suitable interaction patterns to various activities. So are the activities going to be done individually, in pairs or groups? or as a plenary. This might seem obvious or unimportant, but in my experience, if not done, then most activities end up being individual work or plenary where teacher takes the floor and the students end up disengaged and in some cases bored. No need to mention that learning in these cases might not even happen. Our next objective is to incorporate guided discovery in lessons. This means that teachers will no longer stand in front of the class and explain relentlessly and endlessly the grammar and vocabulary, but rather they will compile examples and questions that should lead students to the conclusions about the language point in question, and then students will be able to actually present it back to the teachers. So no more blank stares. And finally, we will talk about the importance of context for language learning, because as we know, we learn from context and with context. Without it, there is no interest of the student, and the learning is much harder to achieve. So how are we going to achieve these objectives? We're going to achieve them through activities that are engaging, collaborative, and student-centered. We will measure the achievement of the objectives through informal testing, such as quizzes, discrimination activities, and collaborative tasks throughout the instruction. And the final formal evaluation will be to create a lesson plan on a given language point. I hope this program spoke to you and you will find it useful for your school. Thank you very much for your attention.